Magic it is the best, with a good test. My name's Naz, I'm from London, South London to be particular, South East to be even more certain. And I come from a Jamaican Turkish background, Turkish Cypriot to be precise. And today I created a great Jerkish meal inspired by my heritage to just show people who I am, what kind of food inspired me to start my cooking journey. My love for food started when I was really young. I always remember going to family parties and events and just remembering the event by the food that was eaten. I'd go to engagement parties and be like, do you remember that fish that they had that was just covered in jelly? And it just stayed on my mind for like 10 years. I'll always remember that party from that food. So that was where my kind of fascination with food began. I remember going to markets with my nene, which was my dad's mum. And we'd go to East Street Market, Lewisham Market, we'd go to Peckham, and I'd be getting hit in the face by bags, by like other aunties and grandmas buying their vegetables and stuff. But my grandma would be teaching me how you can pick a ripe watermelon just by looking at it and touching it and smelling fruit and getting into the flavors and understanding like your produce first, and then going into her kitchen and watching her cook these amazing meals where people from the block would come through. Like we have like an old English lady, an old Jamaican lady is coming to my nan's kitchen to eat her like extremely traditional Turkish Cypriot food. I'm talking fasulia and dolma. And that was just on my dad's side. On my mum's side, like we would cook that, there'd be jerk chicken and curry goat and like these really big Caribbean flavors. And I remember just being so overwhelmed by like how much love was always at my dinner table. And I think that's why I've always been inspired to like cook. And when I cook, I always cook with my heart. My dad is actually a really good cook, and he used to cook for us amazing meals. Like growing up, even though we weren't rich and we had hardship, my mum and dad would always make sure like we'd always have like a freshly cooked dinner, whether it be corned beef hash, whether it be spaghetti bolognese, or my mum and dad really liked chicken livers and onions, which wasn't for me when I was growing up. But if there was always a fresh dinner on my table. Like we'd come back from school, we'd have like tea, which is like, you know, like fish fingers and like instant noodles or something. And then come 7 o'clock, we'll be like, excuse me, dad, mum, what is for real dinner? Real dinner. And that's something that I've always like made sure that I'm really into, is real dinner. Like we want to make real dinners. My mom has always been my biggest supporter, and she saw that I was passionate about food and willing to put myself into like cooking. So we opened up a street food stall together, and we did that for about 1.5 years. And it was really hard work. We used to drive up to like Croydon Market in the morning. The stall might be flying halfway down the road. Like it was crazy, but we did it and we loved it. And that's when I realized that I'm actually really quite good at this. So when we lived in Peckham and we saw a space come up for hiring or rent or whatever, and we took it. And both of us knew nothing about really catering, the restaurant industry, but we just said, you know what, we can do this. So that was my first foot into really cooking professionally, becoming a head chef, running a kitchen. And that was like, that was 4 years, what I can only explain to you as being a university in cooking and catering, like apprenticeship, eat your heart out, because that was just jumping straight in the deep end. We did that for about 4 years. We were making soul food. I actually think that we were one of the first places in London that were doing chicken and waffles, but I mean, it was from 2013 to 2017, so you can date check it with some of your favorite places, but I'm pretty sure we were the first place in London doing chicken and waffles. That was crazy. It was intense. I was young. I was only I think I was 21, 22 when we started doing that. So it was really a lot of hard work, but I realized I love it. I love it. I dream food, I eat food, I think about food all day long. And that was what I was like, this is what I'm good at. Like when I see those tickets come up and I put them in a ticket grab, I get fired up. I'm like, yes, give it to me. And that's what's always, it's just pushed me to like do better, do more. Like when I see people eating my food and like, this is really good. Oh yeah, I love it. Oh yeah, I'm just like, oh shit, like that's me, you know? So that's what always pushed me to do more. Over the last maybe two years, I've really gained confidence in what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, like what my cooking identity is. And that's why I'm just willing to like put my all into it. Shout out Bando Belly, that's the next thing I'm about to jump 2 feet into, 10 toes into. Like that's the next thing. But it's just my passion, and I could never not cook for people again in my life. Jerkish. Well, Jerkish is me. I am Jerkish and my brother. It is a concept of being both Turkish Cypriot and Jamaican and Turkish Cypriot. Jerkish. So Jerkish food is Jamaican food and Turkish food blended together. It's what I think of when it comes to me. Obviously, like that's my background. I grew up with my nene using ridiculous amounts of olive oil and lemon in everything, and then on my Jamaican side, curry powder and pimento being a key ingredient in most of the dishes. And this meal just reflects me. We've got like lots of salad, lots of bright colors, lots of garlic on both sides. We've got the tomato, we've got the herbs and spices. Like, it's just so exciting and colorful. Like, when I think of my food, I think of fusion, because if you look at me, I'm basically a fusion, living and breathing, of two really different places and two really different things, and two things that people might not think would ever fit together, but they do fit together because, hello. So when I made this meal, like the dolma, they have like rice and peas in it. The jerk chicken is the classic jerk chicken, but it's accompanied with like a nice yogurt, aubergine, tomato-y flavor. Like that's something that you never really have with jerk chicken in the Caribbean. But if you were having a meze or you was having a Turkish meal, you would definitely have some sort of tomatoey in the flavors there, and definitely yogurt. Like, I've never had a meal at my nene's house they didn't have yogurt on the side, so you know what I'm saying? If you're Jerkish, even if I was having curry goat, you might have to put some yogurt on the side of that. Kofta, mad. That was just a straight freestyle creation, but we've got curried lamb. You couldn't really find goat where I am right now. So we've got curried lamb, and then we've curried it, shredded it until it's soft, and then we've mixed it with the minced potatoes, because you know curry goat's got to have a little bit of potato in there for me personally to suck up all that curry flavor. But instead of doing it like that, we've just shredded it, made it into like the traditional koftedes, which is the Cypriot style of doing kofte. So it's like not grilled, it's deep fried, which is amazing. But it's just something really original to me. Like, you would never really think to make curry goat, shred it down, put it in a meatball and then fry it. But it's really delicious, and I'm definitely going to be doing those as a special somewhere soon. Smoky nazuk is basically a twist on jerk chicken and the ali nazuk, which is, obviously most people know jerk chicken is a herby seasoned chicken grilled, and the ali nazuk is a lamb kofte grilled with aubergine and tomato sauce basically. And so I've fused those together, and that's the smoky nazuk, and you can catch that recipe on the Community Comfort Cookbook, but it's something that really represents me. Growing up in London, obviously it's a bit of a pressure pot cooking you in there, and I just think that when you kind of push to go through the school system, but if you feel like you can do something else and you put your all into it, you can do it. My message for the kids going into, shout out Faye.
For the kids.
Just keep going at it. Like, I've had failures, I've had things that I'm professionally, I'm just like, that wasn't me. Even looking at me at Kitchen 54 on Queens Road to now, it's two completely different people. Like, the amount that I've learned in that time. You know, just never get down on yourself. Just keep going through. Every failure is a lesson to be learned. Do you know what I mean? Just keep trying and keep at it. You know, if you dedicate yourself, like I've been doing this for nearly 10 years now, and it's now when I'm starting to see like super results. So just keep at it, and if you believe that's what you're meant for, just keep doing it. There will be a lot of people to tell you from your path, innit? Like, and sometimes you'll think, oh, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? Like, it's not even for me. Like, I've had moments where I'm like, I'm gonna go to uni and just study some next thing, and I'm not gonna do it. Like, and then I've come back to myself and just keep on it, even when it's not uplifting you. Just keep doing it if you believe in it. That is my number one. Just keep at it. If you keep at it, something will bust from it, I promise you. This was Well Fed with Naz on No Shade TV.